has any more or less chance of making it to the other side. It only means that there's no acknowledgement to the data. So Station A will send data down to Station B, but Station A will never receive an acknowledgement that that data is received. UDP doesn't provide any acknowledgement. This doesn't mean that UDP works any better or worse than TCP. Different applications use different protocols for different reasons.
These tadpoles don't normally stay in this little vase here. I'm just changing their water out so that they'll have a nice clean tank. But you can really see their legs are developing now. And this vase really helps you to be able to see their little legs popping out. This is their normal tank, and that's my cat Caesar. He likes to drink the water out of their tank, and it's not bad for him either. He is very enthralled by these tadpoles. He thinks they're very cool. But he doesn't try to eat them because they're in the water and he doesn't want to get wet. So that's why he doesn't try to eat them.
As the movers are coming in, someone is going to be looking at the box, seeing what's labeled, and then sending that mover to the
So you can see their little legs are developing right now. And we're going to just change their little tank so that they can start to get out of the water. I'm going to put some bigger rocks in their tank so that they can climb on them and get out of the water because they won't have gills pretty soon. So they need to be able to get out of the water.
Many different services running inside of that server, and some of the data will go to port 80, some of the data will go to port 443, other boxes of data will go to port 123, and other services will provide access over port 25. Putting these all together, then, we have what's known as an IP socket, which means we have the server's IP address, we have a protocol such as TCP or UDP, and we have a port number that's used. The same thing applies on the client side. We can have a client IP address, a protocol, and a client port number. All of these together would be IP version.
And here's my kitty who loves baskets. His name is Caesar. He'll be a year old soon. He was born in August.
These would be non-temporary ports or permanent port numbers. These are usually port numbers that are assigned to an application. This would usually be a port
So he is about 10 months old.
These non-ephemeral ports are numbered 0 through 1023. For example, a web server may be using TCP port 80. That would be a non-ephemeral port associated with that.
By the way, we also have butterflies here that are growing.
The server also has to communicate back to the client using the client's port numbers.
We are growing butterflies into, actually caterpillars into butterflies in this little jar here. And all of that stuff at the bottom is their food that they eat. Pretty soon they're going to go to the top and they're going to start building cocoons so they can change into butterflies.
We can have a TCP port number range between 0 and 65,535. We can also have a UDP range of port numbers between 0.
Pretty soon we will have some praying mantises too.
If we're communicating to a server, then we're probably using a non-ephemeral port number, and it's probably a port number that's in the range between.
If you like these videos, you can subscribe to my channel and see many more videos.
Port numbers that are outside of that range, and that's perfectly fine. These numbers are just a way to signify what room that particular data goes to, and there are no hard and fast rules over what port number an application happens to use. That's because these port numbers are used for communication. They're not a security mechanism. We don't decide on a port number based on any type of security requirement. We're simply setting the port number so that we know where to send the data.
So the story behind these tadpoles is
that the client that you're using,
my stepdaughter Megan was about 5, and we went to the park on Father's Day and got these bullfrog tadpoles that were just like these ones that you see here. and we raised them from tadpoles to frogs, and then we set them free in the pond in the backyard. And ever since then, I've tried to find tadpoles to do the same thing with and could never find any. They're not easy to find. So these ones I actually bought online, and they sent them in the mail, and they've just slowly grown bigger and bigger and bigger. Now they've got their little legs, and pretty soon they'll be ready to set free in the wild, where they can go and find their own bugs to eat. Right now I have these flightless fruit flies for them to eat when they're ready, and you can see them in this jar. They're really gross looking, but there's so many of them, and they are supposedly flightless, but they're really not, because they can fly, which is not good when you have houseplants, but hopefully we won't have problems. So now I'm going to get the tank ready, and I will show it to you after it's all done.